We're starting?
We got Rav's classic attention gamers here. This one just dropped 2 hours ago.
Okay.
He's doing
Season of Discovery, but it's hardcore, and if you die, you delete your character. Thanks.
That's one way to fight my over-explaining tendencies.
Attention gamers. When Blizzard announced that they would be rolling out SoD, I was just as happy as the next guy, and even though launch gave me 3
That was my best reading ever. Unpause.
straight days where I was fully erect in game, I noticed it starting to create a rift between the classic community. On one end you have the hardcore Andes who had just spent months convincing today's streamers to play a 20-year-old game who weren't happy about SoD ripping their raid roster apart. And on the other end you have Mr. I just did my 659th straight Warsong Gulch, which is only tolerable because I'm playing a full lobby of the SoD God class. And as someone who grew up in a big loving family in this game, I felt like a middle child in a divorce, so I came up with an idea, which was to let the devs of the hardcore add-on extort me for donations to make it work for SoD, and time will tell if I just got ripped off. Introducing the newest evolution of classic WoW. Season of Discovery. But it's SSF hardcore, with a twist. Because SoD is great, but there's just something about those hardcore close calls that make your gooch hairs stand straight up in attendance.
Yep.
Bruh.
It's true.
Oh, shh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Is this him?
Dude,
No, this is a
no
different
way.
guy.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, what a rush! Oh, that's why I love hardcore right there, man.
So live as of right now, SoD Hardcore is on the Realm Lava Lash, and here are the rules. All characters must use the Hardcore add-on, which gives you all the standard old school hardcore vibes. No trading, no auction house, no mail, no grouping outside of dungeons, and
Lava Lash,
finally
is that
death
what we're
equals
on?
delete.
I think we're
But
on
seeing
Lava
as SoD
Lash.
runes may have made the game
We're not
slightly
playing
easier
hardcore, though.
for people where mages are running themselves through dungeons, their level, and warlocks are soloing raids, I've added a hardcore twist. For full glory, me and my guild will not be allowed to equip any item obtained from quest rewards. And lastly, you must never toggle off RP walk.
Never toggle off
Okay, I'm
RP
kidding
walk.
about that last part. I've already recruited hundreds of people to join this adventure.
Yeah, this is
including
ours.
some of your favorite streamers, and Mitch.
Oh, mustard,
And I will be live myself here to tell my part of the story. The tale of Tater Totems.
They're on a horde,
Now
though.
to answer the first question many of you will have, the best way to join the official
So it's honor
SoD Core
system?
Guild is to /whisper this guy for an invite. I'm paying him 16 copper a day to stay online so that us streamers can focus on more intense matters. Anyways, this upright cowtown is all about impressing the elders, and the first way to do that is apparently through some cougars. The main one being named Mila. I go say what up girl just to see that she is clearly embracing the new Twitch TOS rules, but she also teaches me how to give my weapons their own gravitational pull so that little cat turds can orbit them, and then she tells me there's a few evolved pigs wearing dresses south, and if I slide into enough of the dead one's DMs I may just discover my first rune. The only problem is my rules said I can't equip quest rewards, so I had no chest to put this on until later when one of those Hogwarts swines let me borrow
Why would
their
that
dress,
be a rule?
Just to make it harder.
which unlocked Overload,
They wanna play
aka the
hard.
Thunder Tourettes, where I would occasionally earn myself a boba deal on lightning
But
bolts.
hardcore, you can use that stuff.
Another one. Another one.
Yeah.
Another one.
So, okay. So
This
the
was dank and
original hardcore, before WoW creators made it official,
Uh-huh.
they had their own rules for hardcore, and that's what made it
Oh,
popular.
oh, got it. Okay.
And so they're going back to those rules.
till Mr. Hawkwind and his daughter that I was trying to rizz up both gave me errands to go back to the place I just finished to complete the genocide, and the lack of concern for my time pissed me off, and these pigs were gonna pay the price for it. My sexy stepsister Seer then gave me some hallucinogens called and was all like, drink it in front of the Godzilla turd we preserved in the backyard if you want the acid trip of your life, and I've gotta say it had me seeing some weird shit. Long story short, this gave me the ability to stick a bedazzled twig in the ground. And you already know what had to be done. And with that, Tater in his first round of totems had outgrown his hometown. I reached the city of tall wooden poles where I was given so many honeydews that my map was more marked up than Post Malone's face, and I just knew there were some intense battles ahead. But as I was finishing up a round of Hey Girl I'll Be Chris Brown You Be Rihanna with a local wolf, I noticed a foreigner to the land of
That's so
Mulgore
bad.
seemingly stuck in a power pose as his most recent enemy was running off to tell a friend that the blue guy over there just gave him a wedgie. I've read this book before and I knew just how it ends for Mr. Heyman. Unless there's a hero to save him. To which he left me with his tagged mob and then flat out ignored me when I tried to give him some much needed parenting. And after that, the next time I saw some mooing moron over pull, I figured I would just stand there and watch. Until he was safe, then I would make him think I helped him so that I could nab that chest he worked so hard to get.
A pouch. See? Pouch is
I
big
told him
deal.
the loot was trash so that he didn't
Nothing
feel bad
good.
despite copping a clutch Shrek scrotum from it. But me treating others like League of Legends players was about to backfire, as a minute later when Burger King invited me for a group, I obviously left him on read because of the hardcore rules, but in my mind that didn't mean he couldn't help me, so after I accidentally nabbed a tag from him I intentionally scammed him out of a second, only for me to realize that Earthshock is a taunt and now I'd be filming an episode of 2 Harpies 1 Dead Rav. And the thing I love about SSF Hardcore is that it turns every chest into potential pots of pure dopamine, because the greens in these were now almost as valuable as those in AG1, even if the stats sucked, because my character was so weak at this point every 2 pull had to be played like a 2200 rating arena.
Oh, War Stomp. Oh, you have skills. Oh, I've got to remember to show you that on our next play. I think you have Starfall.
This made the fact that I then had to go splunking a bit scary, and not 2
I like
minutes
this
later when the
character.
entire
Like
extended
the
family
whatever-
of coal miners wanted to tickle
The
my
bulls?
taint, I was
Yeah.
all like, call me a German
It's
car
the
maker
Torrent.
because
Yeah,
I'm
they're
outie.
pretty cool.
And with that, after a few more minutes of pissing off vegans, I did it. I hit level 10, which meant that Shami Sensei would send me on a business trip and it wasn't going to be pleasant. I spent days walking through those plains, into a barren desert, following Sensei's directions to a T. I reached a crossroads, mentally, deciding if I had it in me to keep going, until days later, after walking further than a young David Goggins could only dream of, I reached he whose name sounds like anal fissures, who was all like, dope, now you need to keep walking until you find my drug dealer on the top of a carrot cake flavored mountain.
Who you be?
He will have you grab a few ingredients and then he'll make you Goo Lamb's famous ganja, and it wasn't going to be easy. This involved going in deadly caves full of Hogwarts orcs and their domesticated dobbies, and dealing with weaponized porcupines who hung out in dangerously congested areas. Troll Tits was all like, this will be the chief of your life, just go to that smiling Cyclops stone, and the best way I can describe the experience is, it's fire. But this was when I realized that my hardcore challenge with no quest loot may have made things too hard.
And he's by himself this whole time?
Yeah. No grouping is one of the rules. Uh-oh. Okay, got the healing wave off.
He's on level 10?
He is, yeah, fighting level 12s.
So after days of walking, retrieving meth head ingredients from deadly places, and almost dying while fighting off an MMA-trained ball of fire that I hallucinated, I unlocked the full power of sticking 2 twigs in the ground at the same time. But this power had to be put to the test, so I went to a local cliff anus to scheme with one of my homeboys, who told me this fucked up story about a family who injected so many roids into their pet beagle that the thing went rogue, is unrecognizable, and is now so deadly that there's a literal hardcore achievement to kill it before reaching level 12. I decided to ride a floating wooden elevator into
Ooh,
a
love
city
that.
that plays a piss-poor poker game
yeah.
because everyone knows it's full of bluffs, where I would meet up with some guy cosplaying a rogue trainer. He would have me go back to that same cave I pussied out of earlier to be a dick and light some fireworks inside. Then he was all like, dank, your next job is to kill the moaning hookers with wings up north and clean up any dog turds in the yard while you are at it. The final step
Moaning.
was for me to rub one out in front of this pond with my left hand to prove that I had the coordination to hold a weapon in both hands and I was ready. Out of solidarity for my fellow SoD core Conrad, I would
Dual-wield.
first watch Gildy J Wub's attempt at the solo, which was going well until my viewing party got interrupted by the local petting zoo. He barely survived the initiation into manhood and warned me of how scary it felt before it was my turn to take the plunge.
This is like getting into. This is like the initiation, getting in and walk to remember, getting into the group. It was easy.
And with that, the first victory of many had taken place. I copped my achievement, looked at the biz pants for my level that I am not allowed to use. But this would prove that no challenge would be too hard for the great Tater Totems and his multiple sticks in the ground.
Multiple sticks in the ground. Wow, okay, they made a hardcore guild. He just released the video. I kind of want to make a horde and go join it.